Hello and welcome to Tutor Tuesday. We have 3 cars for you today because we're trying to get through them. And up first we have a Honda CRX Del Sol that looks a little bit like a fish. Wait for the camera to pan around to the front and you will understand what I mean. Anyway, this one here in particular was sent to me by JG Racer X. Sorry guys, but people are giving me really complicated names to pronounce today. But yes, this one has 260-ish horsepower, weighs up 2,500 pounds, is naturally aspirated. Should be quite an interesting car, this one. It's quite a lot of power and doesn't weigh too much, which means that it should put in a relatively good lap time. Now, I will point out I haven't driven this car. I'm really sorry. I've been really busy this weekend. I've only just got back. So yeah, I haven't had a chance to drive this car. However, I can report back on what Stig said about it. It is a very good car, actually. He likes it quite a lot. It is quite understeery, from what I hear. It's very understeery, actually, for a rear-wheel drive car. It's not necessarily a bad thing. If you get the hang of it, they can be quite fast if they're understeering. Me, personally, I like a car that has a bit of understeer, but I like a car where the back end is very planted. This isn't quite like that. It's 260 horsepower, so it's quite a bit of power, and the back end will step out quite a lot if you're a bit silly with the throttle. But yeah, overall it is a very good car to drive. So on to the flying lap, and heavy on the brakes up in the bar first. I have to say, this car, Stig was having to brake quite early for the first corner. I'm not sure, it is quite fast in a straight line. I'm not sure if it's that or whether the brakes aren't just as great as some of the cars we've had. But yeah, it's looking quite good through this first section. Oh dear, it's early in the morning, I do apologise. Coming through the bumper section, and it is flat out through there as well. It's doing about 112, I think, through there. Pretty respectable speed for the Del Sol through there. Around Diabolica, and it's still looking quite nice and under control. There's no sort of leery oversteering moments that I was seeing in some of the earlier laps on the replays. And it's around the quadruple apex right-hander, still looking quite good. A little bit of understeer, you can see there, he's sort of going off towards the grass, and it's up to the last corner. Gets turned in very nicely through here, actually, and he's going to sort of run it off towards the grass, and we'll bring it back in towards the curb, and then it's just a run to the line. It is quite a good car in a straight line, I have to say. For some of the cars we've had that have been struggling to get over like 115, this is doing about 120, 122, I think. Not the fastest we've seen, but still pretty damn respectable. Okay, up next we have got, it's a Ford Pinto. It's not the prettiest of cars, I'm going to be honest. But yes, we have a Ford Pinto for you here. This one was made by Picnax. I think I've got that right as well. It's got 247 horsepower, weighs only 2,100 pounds. So quite a bit of power, even lower weight. Should be a pretty quick car. It has the engine from a Ford Focus, which is always good because the normal Pinto engine is probably quite rubbish. And it's also supercharged. So yeah, this car, I have driven this car a little bit. In fact, I raced the guy who built it, and I know for a fact this is a very fast car. It's a little bit weird when you like line your cars up in your garage. If you have cars with the same PI, it still somehow puts them in an order, and the Pinto is at the bottom of all my B500 cars for some reason. But yeah, this is a seriously quick car. However, driving it is, I couldn't possibly begin to explain to you how weird the handling is on this thing. It sort of understeers and oversteers, sometimes both at the same time, sometimes with different things at different corners. However, it is a very quick car, and I can't really explain to you why. Stig isn't actually a fan of this car particularly. He doesn't really like the way it drives, doesn't really suit his driving style. I do like this car. It is seriously fast for what it is. So we're expecting for a very good lap time from the Pinto. Here we go on to its flying lap, and it can brake quite a lot later than the Del Sol could into the first corner. Running quite a little bit wider than I was expecting through there. Actually kicks up a little bit of dust. And we're coming down towards the bomb hole section. This, I think, is the fastest car I've had through here. It's about 115, 116 through this section, which is, yeah, that's pretty damn quick. I think only the Civic's sort of, the Civic we have very early on has gone as quick as that. Up towards Diabolica now, and again gets turned in very nicely. Is there going to be an understeer? There's a little bit sort of understeer creeping in there on the exit, but nothing too much. This is the corner Stig actually had a lot of trouble with, the quadruple apex right-hander. It's a very weird car to drive, this one. I can't fathom how to describe it to you any better. But yeah, it's a fast car though, and it's around the last corner there. We can see Stig running off towards the grass. Straight line speed is pretty good. Again, it's over 120 for this car. I can't quite remember now how quick it goes at the end of the straight, but it is a very quick car in a straight line. Doesn't weigh very much. So yeah, this is, there we go, it is across the line. So this is looking like a very quick lap for Pinto. And our final car is a Mazda MX5 Miata. I'm amazed we haven't had more people build this sort of thing and send these in. I was expecting loads of MX5s and this sort of lightweight, relatively low powered car. This one, I'm going to get your name wrong, I am sorry. Ekldi, I think? I don't know, I'm sorry. I can't pronounce your name. That's who sent this one in. It has 223 horsepower, so not too bad. It's got more horsepower than my Scion did. Only weighs 2,095 pounds, so the lightest car we have today. It does have a turbo on it as well. I'm expecting this to be pretty quick as well. It does have a humongous rear wing. Hopefully the camera's going to... There we go. Look at the size of that rear is not weir. I kept saying weir earlier. That's for boats. Rear wing. It's a huge wing on this. It's ridiculous. But I have to say, I really like this car to drive. It's my sort of car, really. It's lightweight, not huge amounts of power, make it very good handling. Straight line speed actually isn't that bad. It's still over 120. A lot of the times we've had sort of lightweight handling cars, their top speed has been like 115. But yeah, this one here is not too bad in a straight line. Around the corners it is very good. I have to say it's one of the more stable cars, and actually is by far the most consistent of all the cars we've had around here. I think every single lap Stig did with this was within a second, excluding like the sort of like the warm-up like that, from the standing start, there we go. Apart from that lap, every single lap he did was within a second in this car. It's phenomenally consistent and relatively easy to drive as well. So here we are onto its flying lap and into the first corner, looking very stable through there. You can brake very late on this car as well. The brakes are pretty damn good. It's a little bit twitchy after that first corner, which is a little bit surprising for this car. Then it's down towards the bum hole, and of course it's easily flat out through here. It's not as fast as the Pinto we had through here. It is a little bit less power, not really surprising, and there must be huge amounts of drag from that wing, because that's just ridiculous. Up towards Diabolic, and now gets turned in very nicely. There's actually a little bit of oversteer there on the exit, which has surprised me, because I didn't really have any problem with oversteer in this car. Up towards the quadruple apex for right-hander now, and it's looking very good through there. You can see it can hug the apex. It's much closer than some of the cars we've had. It's up towards the last corner, gets turned in very nicely. It's going to run up towards the grass, and then it's just a run to the finish line. And as I said, yeah, the MX5 is not the quickest we've had in a straight line, but it's still not bad considering the size of that rear wing, and I suspect there's quite a lot of downforce and drag coming from that. And there we go, that is the MX5 across the line. Now it is time for the all-important lap times, and this week has been a really fast week for cars. The Ford Pinto has gone fastest with a 57.792. That is a very quick lap time, especially considering the Stig doesn't really like the car. The Mazda MX5 went 4th with a 58.243, which is incredibly close to my Scion's time. In fact, there's near enough the identical time there. That MX5 is really quite fast. And the fish-looking Del Sol has gone 5th with a 58.332, which is another very impressive time for the Honda. So there we go. That is it for this video, guys. If you have cars on your storefront, could you please resend me a message, because I've tried clearing out some of my messages. I don't think I've deleted any from people saying they have a car on the storefront, but I may have done by accident. So could you please send me another message just reminding me it's on there. But yes, that is it for this video, guys. So thank you very much for watching, and until next time, goodbye.